Make sure I'm live first. I ain't gonna do much chatting on this because this is YouTube. But we are live. Let's just wait and make sure it goes live. I have to monitor it as well. I have to monitor it as well. We are live, I think. We are live. Is it live? Is it Memorex or is it live? I think it is. I have to set up. Give me a chance. I decided to go live. We're live on YouTube. Recording has been made. Archive will be posted to other sites later. But we are live. If I can find the stream. Am I live? Is that me? Yes, I'm live. Let me see what I sound like. I think it is. Yes, I'm live. I have to set up. Give me a chance. I decided. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and get my phone stand. I'm live on YouTube right now. We're going to do GTA tonight. It's too late for me to start the rings and stuff. So we're going to go to GTA. Just give me a minute to set up and everything. I'll be ready in just a bit. Something happens every time I go live on Twitch lately. I get knocked off. So we're YouTube only at the moment. Let's go into GTA, baby. I got to thinking, I can probably go live on YouTube. So we'll be live on YouTube tonight. Making their way the only way they know how. That's just a little bit more than she's a good old girl. Driving her Sarah Lee. Trying to earn cash the right way, but sometimes she gets it the worst way it seems. Miss Christine. The Duchess of Centros. Miss Christine. I done gave her a shower. I just got to change her clothes. I forgot to change her clothes at the last time I was on. For once tonight, we were also on YouTube. YouTube. Won't discuss any politics or anything. I was always safe on YouTube as long as I didn't touch anything. That's okay. I wasn't planning to anyway. Making her way. Let's see. Just got to change the clothes. I think I can actually go to the casino tonight. What's that thing? I love the icy boots. There we go. She's got her different clothes on tonight. I'm normally live on Twitch. Tonight I'm live on YouTube. Just seeing if I got on Rumble. It doesn't hurt because this channel is growing. It's got a few more subscribers just by me posting my Twitch videos. I import them over, you know. It's only a few behind Twitch, so if you run into me or follow me here, I thank you. I thank each and every one of my viewers. Oops. For Sarah Lee. I'll go earn her some money. I think I'm gonna do the cab tonight. Oh yeah, we gotta go to the casino first. That'll take me some more at NyQuil before I go to bed. That stops the little bit of tension off out of it. I don't want to take it before I get to gaming because it affects the driving. What's smoggy at? I can't operate this game car. It's fine if I'm not driving. I don't like smashing up her cars. Her cars. If she's got them stolen cars, I don't give a fuck. Piece of shit. That's another thing I'm going to limit while I'm over here on YouTube. I'm going to limit the cussing. They don't like cussing. So we'll try not to cuss much. How do you do that though with the game? The game's cussing. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. There's a van creepily parked there. That's a creep. Creep in the night stalking there. Smoggy night in Santros. The Duchess of Santros. Just a good old girl. Ba 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 ba. Never meaning no. She ain't really good. Boy, she was terrible. She unalived NPCs. That's how she got her start. Unaliving NPCs. And then I tried to make her repent. Ba 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 ba. Just a good old girl. Ba 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 ba. Never meaning no harm. We'll park her right here. We'll be going to the casino business. She's going to be doing a taxi job after she gets out of the casino. Gonna earn her some cash. Earn her some cash, Holmes. I decided to park at the taxi cab. We'll go on the elevator. I'm going to get lazy and go on the elevator. The reason I don't always go this route is because I can't never remember how to get to it. I'll run back to the exit. That it? Am I going to be going out? Oh, look at this white one here. That's nice. And she wants to go spin the wheels, Holmes. If you never actually joined me on YouTube, thank you for joining me. I'm not live here much. I need to start changing around. One day go on Rumble. One day go on YouTube.
Imagine a place you and your friends can go for some private action. Purchase a
The thing about this, though, people can't keep up where you're going, where you're live at. But I guess it don't matter if they watch the video later, don't matter. Oh man, they're blocking me from getting to the freaking well. Ah, man, that was a horrible spin. I hate that discount thing. That's worthless to me. I don't know to buy anything. I will. We'll try again tomorrow. I'll go get the chips. Then we'll gamble some with the chips. And then we'll see how we do.
How can I help you?
I'll tell you, I'm not a gambler. I never gamble anymore. What is...
Something else I can do for you? Drinking fucking mocktails.
Okay, now we'll go. I never gamble in real life. I chose not to go that route. One, it's not biblical. Two, it's bad. And it can become an addiction. People can get addicted to it. There's people that destroyed their whole entire lives with gambling. I don't gamble. I don't even really play the lottery. I've never actually bought a lotto ticket, maybe myself. I don't gamble. It's a bad thing to get into. This is just a game. We'll go at Old Blue Dream. And to make it worthwhile, let's put a little more. Now, I know I'll lose, but... What's right? What was her number? 2 and 1.
Horse 2, way back, last. Third place now is the 6 horse. They're halfway home.
She's went way down now.
3 horses running along second. Leading the pack, it's number 4. Coming down to the finish.
Yeah, we lost. That's okay. That's okay. We'll try again. We'll aim low this time. I'll try the big one again later. Don't matter to me. You want to back down there again.
Moving into the final half. The 1 horse is now second.
But I don't gamble in real life. Never.
Coming to the wire.
This right here is why.
Was a great
That right there is why I don't.
who ran in a circle.
I think I'm just going to count her losses and take her 700 and go. Know when to hold 'em. Know when to fold 'em. Know when to walk away. We'll just take her 700. 700 is still 700. Know when to run. Well, she wasn't gambling her money anyway, so. You never can. Yeah, it's a big gambling with my money, but that bitch gambling with my money. Let's let fucking Axel chime out. That bitch gambling with my money. There goes the challenger. Being chased by the blue wheelies on wheels.
Goodbye.
She ain't got nothing to lose. She's gambling with my money, bitch. We'll walk away with that 700. Know when to fold 'em. Now we'll go do some taxing. And I'm gonna ride like the wind, ride like the wind. I told that story the other night. First time I rode in the cow by myself. Oh, these fat asses in the way. Fucking fatty's in the way. Okay. Make it to the border of Mexico. Da, 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 da. Oh, I see. You go there and you turn. I need to remember that next time I go in. Now we'll go over and earn her some. Thank God it's daylight again. I hate the taxi cab at night. It's worse. Sometimes I can see that orange marker, but her car went back on. That's good. I won't have to go to shit. I can just go home. Here we go.
I got a customer for you right now.
Give me a sec. I'm on. Thing I tear my stomach up, but I think I got one of them old lemon horrible cough drops. It's not in here, it's in the living room, so I guess I'll just do it out. It tore my stomach up anyway. Oh, you let this crap hurts me. That is one of its side effects, by the way. I like the Ludens. They're not as candy tasting as they used to be. They used to taste like candy when I was a kid. They've done something to the flavor. They've changed them. But it's still better than that eucalyptus bullshit. Where's that green dot? Oh, I see. See him or her? We won't know whether there's a he or a she till we get there. And I ride like the wind, bum 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 bum. Yeah, like I said, I had to take a cab to school one time. My mom, the car wouldn't work. I forgot what was wrong with it. They had to fix it, but anyway. I'd missed the bus. Little boy turned me over to a cab. He was an old guy. He said, "You want to hear the radio?" I said, "Yeah." Turned on the radio. And Ride Like the Wind was playing. Ride like the wind. Oh, it's up here. I know where we're going. I love when I pick up this place. I like when I drop off here, too. This is the easiest place to pick up and drop off. I love this little place here. I think I've seen him. Stop that chariot.
Peace to you.
Peace to you, too, brother.
Let's get this chariot in motion.
We sure will. We sure will, Holmes. Still got a long way to go. Make it to the border of Mexico. You know what my favorite song from him is, though? It's called Sailing. Probably can't play it because I'm on YouTube. Well, YouTube will let you remove the tracks. That's a blessing about YouTube, by the way. They literally let you go in there and remove the track. Now, it takes some time, and you have to let it set. And sometimes, I've noticed my video will take a couple of days or so. I don't know why it sometimes takes it up to 2 days, but eventually it filters it out. Which way do I need to go? I'm not going right. And I ride like the wind, ride like the wind. Ah, man, shit hook.
Real devil.
I hate these dang NPCs. That's why I didn't think of nothing about letting Christine. Okay. I don't say the word because I don't think you. I think it's one of the things you can't say on YouTube. I'm just paying attention to other streamers, like even that dude that does his name's Mord. He does the Gnostic Gospels. I pay attention to what he's saying about. Because sometimes they'll say I'm cussing. I got to quit the cussing. They don't like it. I'm gonna follow whatever Mord was doing. There's other people I watch on there. Dan Badindi. I like him. Spiritual Warfare with Dan Badindi. Look him up. I like his videos. He usually goes live every Friday, I believe. He may go live more than that. I have caught him several times. A lot of times I catch his videos in hindsight. But I have watched several live ones. Then I watch Rodney Howard Brown on YouTube as well. Mr. Rodney. And then I like watching videos and concerts and stuff like that on YouTube. I don't watch YouTube much anymore, but I do watch several things. Morg's one of them. And spiritual warfare videos. I love the spiritual warfare ones. Still got a long way to go behind all these freaking NPCs. But I need to ride like a wind, ride like a wind, 'cause I got a job to do. Bum, 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 bum. But my favorite, I was telling you, I broke my concentration. Sailing. Sailing. I used to like listen to that one on the beach. There's something, it's got a beautiful sound to it. Have you ever heard Sailing? What was that guy's name? Cross. Christopher Cross. I love Sailing. It's got a beautiful feel to it. There's just something about that soothing feeling that song gives. And I ride like the wind, ride like the... I wasn't a big Christopher Cross. I like those two songs. I'm basically a hitter. You know, that's people that likes people for the hits. I would be a fan, and I don't know though. I had never purchased one of his albums. I might like it if I would have purchased one of his albums. So I like Sailing and I like Ride Like the Wind. I can't think of any more of his songs. He's got something out there I can't think of them. You're welcome to chat if you want to. I can see it. If you're in here and you want to chat, go right ahead. I can see it over here on my phone. I got the phone right beside me. So I'm monitoring streams now. Because they've been going down. Still got the long way, at least on Twitch. Make it to the border of Mexico and I ride like the wind. Ride like the wind. Bum, 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 bum. Still got the long way to go. Make it to the border of Mexico. I could have went on Rumble, but I decided to do YouTube. Because YouTube was really my first home, and I started first posting my JCBW over here, but they didn't like it. But I rarely get political with JCBW now. Indeed, even when Obama comes in it, he's a shadow of himself. I'm the controller now. The referee of sleaze. I'm the one trying to destroy Bozoid. Not some outer force or some communist force or some wrestling entity. It's me. Actually, the actual owner. The real owner. The guy that created it all. I'm being Satan and devil wrapped up in one because now I'm trying... Or Braxis. Oh, that guy was talking about Abraxas tonight. I seen a video on Abraxas. That's what I was watching. I'm Abraxas. I've become Abraxas. I created the JCBW. Now I'm trying to destroy it. Ha 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 ha. I'm light and dark. I'm Abraxas. apfns has become Abraxas. I hate this place. This is that place where I had trouble dropping off. And I think I'm going to have the same trouble again as I did last time. I just went around and round and round and round. Round and round. What comes around goes around. I tell you why. Dick, looking at you, looking at me, the way you go. It's not so easy to see the neon nights on me tonight. Boy, I loved that song when I was a kid. Rat was one of my early rock and roll bands. Probably inspired me just as much as Axl now. It's just that back then I wasn't really as much paying attention to rock like I was. Like, I liked a lot of that pop stuff. I liked Madonna. I liked Michael Jackson. I liked Like a Seagull, stuff like that. That stuff wasn't necessarily rock. That electronic stuff. I was even talking about that then. I love that band. They had a male and a female sound. I like that, by the way. I'm telling you, if I could have done a band, that's what I would have done. Male and female, where you got the girl singer and you got the guy. And then the conversation turned, and then the sun went down, and many fantasies were learned on that day. Have you ever heard my song about Christine and Michael? And the other one about the London girl. That guy and a guy named Gary Newman was the inspiration of those vocal styles. You know, Gary Newman, he sort of has a similar vocal style to that guy. I like Gary Newman. Cars. In cars, bum, 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 bum. Ba 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 in cars. Ba 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 ba. Boy, I love that song. That's what I like about the Marilyn Manson Space Alien. If you ever pay attention to that Marilyn Manson Space Alien, it kind of mixed that with the 90s. You got a lot of that style going on. Which one is that? God is a number you cannot count to. You are posthuman and high wire. He's got that girl in that song. What's her name? She was up against him for a while, but then she turned back around. I bet that's who he's talking to the red flag about. I don't know for sure. I want to accept their surrender. I don't know for sure. I can't talk to him about it. But now she was, because she was against him for a while. And then when she realized them girls were lying, she turned back around. She was in the movies, the Scream movies. Her. She's in that song. Her voice. Ah, that glitters is gold. That's her. The girl in it. The girl's her. Ba 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 ba. Boy, that's one of my favorite songs. Ah, God is a number you can't. I'm starting to read these Gnostic texts. I mean, I'm still trying to hold to the tradition because the Bible warns you not to get off. But just saying, I think God is a number these people cannot count to. You are opposed to, because there's so many different versions, tales of God out there in the Bible, and these Christian people suppressed a lot of it. They even burned people to the stake and everything, called them heretics. There's different versions, like Abraxas I was just telling y'all about a while ago. I was just watching that video just tonight. Right now I'm Abraxas. I built the JCBW and now I'm destroying the JCBW. You are post-human and high. See, I'm going to go around in a circle. Oh, I think I know where it's at. It's probably over here at this place. So let me just... Don't you hit me, you bitch. I cussed. Sorry. Sorry, you two. You are post-human and high. Why? My Elements is always going to be my favorite rock star. Even if he was for Satan, I praise night. People could say, how could you say that? Because you can't judge people. You can't judge people. Especially where this music scene is concerned. A lot of it is phonyism. A lot of it is, it's not completely, and it's been exposed lately, and I'm not an ignoramus. Back in the day, I used to think it was fully that. I thought it was just fully show, and then I started seeing lately, they do their rituals in open public. And I'm going to tell you, I had never witnessed none of it. And any of the concerts I've ever went to, it was just like any other event you went to. It was like a wrestling event, a carnival, a carnival. You name it. I've been to carnivals before. I don't go. I hadn't since I growed up. You wouldn't catch me dead in a. You wouldn't catch me. I'd be too bored. When I was a kid, I went to the circus. I don't go to circuses and stuff now. That's beyond my. I've grown out of that. It's a circus. It's like a circus. It's like any other, and then it's like a country show, and it's like a. It's even like your church service. I'm going to be honest, and I shouldn't really say this one because they're going to be saying, yeah, there we go. But what I'm meaning is it would be like you get there and you go in, and after you get the hassle of the security, which a lot of times it depends on what's going on at the time and how serious they're taking it. I've seen times where they took it really damn serious, and I've seen times where it was light. And I like it when it's so serious, by the way. I don't really feel safer, but I kind of feel safe. Although you can't go by that. There's nuts in this world today. You go in after you go through the scrutiny and all that crap. And then it's just like any other event. It's like you just go in, and I don't see no rituals going on. Now, I think I would if I was going to Taylor Swift, because she does hers on stage. Of course, now there is a magic there. I'm going to tell you. I'm lying. I remember. I'm breaking my silence here. I actually put it up on my YouTube, I believe. A small clip of some ritual Madonna was doing. I seen a ritual to Madonna. Well, I guess Maryland, he used to have his little rituals too. He had this Pope costume he come out in. So I guess in a way I'm kind of lying. I'm just wrapping it up as I was far away from it and I was looking at it on TV, so I didn't see the full detail. I guess in a way there are some rituals going on. Because I thought about it. I thought about Manson and his little, one of those shows he come out in this Pope outfit. The first of it. I forget which one it was, which show it was. He had that Pope costume on, where it looks like he's the Pope. Then, of course, he had his stained glass windows, of course. He usually has those. But other than that, I'm going to tell you most of the time, I'm going to tell you even some of the artists. A lot of them, I'm not talking about all of them. At the end of the show, they'll go, God bless! I kid you not. I'll tell you one that's really good at that. Every time I've seen Bret Michaels, even my father brought that up. My father brought up, he says, they're always talking about how bad these rockers are, but every time I've seen him, he always tells the audience, God bless. He does. There's several others that does that. But Bret Michaels is good at it. He does it all every time. Every time you see Bret Michaels, he God blesses you. Every time. He'd do that in the 80s too, by the way, because I'd watch him on MTV and stuff. So it ain't just something he just started doing out of the out of his rear. He always did it. We both lie silently still in the dead of the night. Although we both lie close together, we're 50 miles apart inside. Is it something I said or something I did in my words? I can't sing right now. This junk's keeping me singing. Though I tried not to hurt you. It's a place where I drive around in circles, huh? Every rose has its thorn. Whoever's striking me, I've been struck before. Whatever's striking me. They tried to stop me with the JCBW, and it doesn't, you're not going to stop me either. I'll go back to video. I'll go back to video if I have to. I'll post videos. I usually do better views on my views. I just do the streaming because it's convenient and I can hit the button and go live. You're not going to stop me. I'm not going away. You might as well just go away. Indeed, I bind you in the name of Jesus. You are not going to stop me. No, I'm not going to quit singing. No, I'm not going to quit writing music. No, I'm not going to quit gaming. No, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to quit doing anything you would not want. Because it's my life, not yours. It's my life. Don't you forget. I love that song, by the way. Gwen Stefani eventually done it. I think I like her version the best. She might have been No Doubt. But I can't remember if she's just No Doubt or... You're not going to stop me. They didn't stop me then, and you're not going to stop me. Motherfuckers didn't like me then. Motherfuckers not going to like me now. I am the better two evils. I am the better two. I am something that you'll never be. Bam, 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 bam. Ba, 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 ba. I am something that you'll never be. Haters call me bitch, call me blah blah. I gotta take a sense of that. I am something that you'll never be. Haters call me bitch. That's one of my favorite songs from Marilyn Manson. One of my favorites. I am the better to Eve. He's basically telling whoever the schmuck's attacking him, he's basically better than them. Bam bam. He's telling them there's something that he's something they'll never be. That's so true about your haters, by the way. They hate you for a reason. They hate you for a reason. Because they can't be you. And they hate what you're doing. And they just hate it so much that they can't stand it. And they can't stand you because they want to be doing what you're doing so bad. Bah, 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 bah. That's one of the best Marilyn Manson songs ever. That's my least favorite album. Out of all the albums, that's probably my least favorite. And then the next one was the second next one was that one that was dark. I was telling that story the other day about Heaven Upside Down. It's kind of too dark for me. If Marilyn Manson ever had a Say It's Satanic album, it was too satanic for me. It was that one. But you know what? I like it too. I mean, I got some songs off there I love. And I was even noticing those last ones. That Blood and Honey or whatever it's called. You want it upside down. This voice dark. Up, you like it when I'm upside down. I'm upside down. I like that gothic sound it has to it. It's got this real creepy gothic sound to it. If he ever had an album that was too satanic for me, it was that one. It took me years to get into it. But now I loved Saturnalia from the band. If you listen to Saturnalia, it's got that feeling that 80s music had that I was talking about a while ago. But it's even darker. It's that Cure and stuff like that. This goes darker. There's other bands like Cure. But what's some bands? Love will not tear us apart. And Bajas. It's got those dark feelings. I was a fan of that stuff. Boy, Bajas used to scare the shit out of me, though. So missed one of those songs, he was actually demon possessed. While he was recording, they had to run out of the studio. Which one was that? Oh, I used to know which one it was. That thing would scare me to death. Whatchamacallit's one of them where he does the chanting. That song he does the chant, Stigma. Stigma. I tried to do it on karaoke. I can't sing with it. He does all kinds of chanting and stuff. I might as well just give this up. I ain't gonna get this. I done it before. I wish I'd have remembered how I got it. There's a way you turn off when you get to it. I drove around in traffic the last time. Boy, it's congested. People's just going to have to face it, though. I'm not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. And I'm not intimidated. I'm not timid. I'm not a quitter and I'm not timid. You might shut me up for a little bit, but you won't. Eventually, I'm going to say something. I bet it's right up there. I'm going to go back. I know I'm not supposed to. I'm going to. Because I'm betting it's right up here. Could be wrong as fuck. You hit me. Yes. Finally, I'll drop that guy off, I think. I spent all night on that on. Just got to look for it. Run. My father's name was Run. And he ran convenience stores. That's what he did his last few years. When I was a kid, he did deliveries for vending company. He filled the vending.
God bless you and thank you.
Then he retired and did the flea market business for a little
This is
bit.
dispatch. I
Worked
got a
at
job for right now.
Hardee's. Finally in a grocery store. Did a grocery store. Hardee's. He managed Hardee's for it. And he, his last 20 years of his life he did, with the exception of a few years in the grocery store. He did convenience stores during the last 20 before he retired. But there's a little break in between. He went from the convenience store to the grocery store, and then he went back to the convenience store. It's way on the other side, y'all. My daddy, he was a hard worker. My daddy wasn't no lazy bum. And I have told you, I actually met Marilyn Manson's father. That's not special. There's a lot of people do. But I'm glad I did too. He'd come out and talk with the fans. Almost all of us miss him. I tell you, I always dedicate Father's Day to both him and my father. Because I got to talk with him. And I didn't talk fan stuff. I talked about him and Manson. And I took it to my heart. So every time it comes up to Father's Day, I honor both of them. Normally I sing on karaoke. If I do karaoke anytime around Father's Day, I sing Killing Strangers. Because if you know the story behind Killing Strangers, it's the story about what separated him and Brian Warner as a child. And see, Manson didn't know the reasons, and he was mad at his daddy. That's one of the stories I used, by the way, to help me recover, because I had my own issues of my own. It's just that it wasn't quite as dire. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes we wouldn't be speaking, sometimes we would. But I used basically Hugh Warner and Brian Warner and Killing Strangers to heal me. So when it comes to Father's Day, I always dedicate it to both of them. Even though it's written about Hugh Warner. My daddy, he would have never went to war, by the way. He didn't like it. He didn't vocalize it. He didn't want to fight somebody else's wars. In other words, he wasn't an American hater. He wasn't one of them haters. You know, those haters. Now, he wasn't for, but neither was Brian Warner's daddy after he came home. Marilyn Manson. I should just call him Marilyn Manson. That's Santa's real name. But I mean, we all know who he is. So. But anyways, that's one of my favorite moments was talking to him. Because I didn't talk with him about. I told him about how I never did believe he was bad, as they say. And boy, it opened up a conversation, and it never leaves. That guy loved his son. He loved him. He'd be very proud of him right now, trying to straighten out his life. He'd be super proud. I'm proud for him. Because I know how much he loves him. I knew how much he loved him. He told me how much he loved him. That man loved his son. That's a moment I would never erase. Because I could have talked about anything. I could have talked about the music. I could have talked. I kind of wish I had told him about my daddy, my own daddy. But I'm going to tell you, he kind of hit off with my mother. My mother and him, they got into conversation. I just started letting them talk. I sat there for the rest of it. I wanted to tell him about my daddy. This is my daddy. He thought Marilyn Manson was going to be the wickedest man he ever seen. And he liked finding bad dudes. I mean, and I heard him tell somebody this. I don't remember who it was. But he was telling them this tale. He said, when they told me I was going to see him, I said, oh boy, I'm finally going to get to see that bad man I've been searching for all these years. I mean, he literally looked for the devil. He was bullied when he was a kid, and he had this thing about taking on bullies. He had a complex about that. He wanted to find spooky ones. He wasn't going to take him on or nothing, but he just wanted to see if he was as bad as they said he was. Oh no, he is everything they said he was. Oh no, I am all the things they said I was. He's looking for a bad man. He thought he was finally going to get to see it with Marilyn Manson. And anytime anybody started that stuff in around him, you know, there's always going, he's the devil, he's this and that. My daddy, here we go. Bullshit. That was him. He always did that bullshit on everything. I loved how he did bullshit. Sometimes I do it. He said, I get there. He said, they told me I was going to be seeing him. And I said, oh. He said, for once, I was actually looking. That's the second time he was like that. When he learned he was going to see Axl Rose and Welcome to the Jungle. He got excited about that one. I think he liked this. I think he liked them better than he went on. He never would let us know. But now, like I said, he brought up Skid Row on his deathbed. But, by the way, this was the anniversary of their album. And guess what? We thought about this. I've been having an irritation and all that stuff and not feeling too good. We was sick 30 years ago when that thing come out. Indeed, we had saved our money so we could buy it. And we had to wait till we got better to go get it out of the store. I couldn't believe it. 30 years later, because it's 30 years. But my daddy, he would go, anytime, and I wanted to tell Mr. Hugh that, and then I got distracted because I got to seeing him and my mama talking. I thought, well, I'll let her talk to him. You know, they were around probably closer to the ages. Anyway, he might have been a little young. Sure, he was a little younger. So I just let them talk. I'd always wished I'd told him that tale about my daddy. Because he actually thought Marilyn Manson was going to be a bad dude. And he gets there and he goes, but now I think he'd have been a little different if he'd seen him in the Antichrist Superstar. When I watch them videos, even now if I pull them up, there's some kind of anger there. And I can feel his anger. I can nod and understand. Them people were aggravating the shit out of him. I can nod and I can understand even though I'm a Christian. Because I hated how them Christians were doing it. Because I didn't think that was any good. I think that was doing more harm than good. If people says otherwise, it says, but I don't think Jesus would handle it. I didn't ever see him. The people he attacked was the Pharisees. He didn't attack the lost and the sinners. He attacked them Pharisees. He attacked them religious people. That's who Jesus went after. He didn't go out there provoking the lost. There's nowhere in the Bible. There is one place in the Bible where he went to Gothic type people, though. The Samaritans would be the equivalent to the people that are pierced and tattooed and dark. And if you could imagine the Samaritans, how they were, the way they believed, and the way the Jews looked at them. You know what he did there? He went and he stood by the wall or whatever, the well. I'm thirsty. Can you get me something to drink? Struck up a conversation. And then next thing you know, he had the whole town coming to him wanting to be saved. He didn't get out there being mean, berating. I'm talking about lost people. I know that they say those are Satan worshipers. Some are, some aren't. His fan base is mixed up. We're a coat of many colors. There's even other Christians in there, Hispanic, besides me. I've learned that over the years. And then there are some of them that's learned to respect even us that are Christians because they realized over the years that not all of us are like that. Not all of us are people that browbeat you and tear you down. You know, there's a lot of Christians that does that. Holier than thou you art. I don't know if I should add this session on YouTube. I'll tell you something about Mr. Peacock, the one in Jacksonville I listen to. And now, don't get me wrong, he is old-fashioned King James, all that. But he was a cop. And he dealt with many of people. And believe me, he's King James only. He's even picky, but he usually does hymns. If he allows new music in there, he's very picky. He usually don't allow anything but hymns. But one thing he don't like is the same thing that I don't like. Them Christians getting out there provoking the Indeed, he had some in his church. He got onto him. He told him, he said, I don't want y'all going doing that. Well, guess what they did? They broke away and formed their own church and done it anyway. He told them. He said, well, don't come calling me. He says, I know what you'll do when you get in trouble. He said, when you get the police called to you, you're going to be begging me to get you out of it. Because I knew the sheriff. He worked at the sheriff's deputies, and he was a deputy before he retired to become a pastor. Or before he went to become, I think he became a pastor even while he was, but he retired full pastorship. He said, don't come calling. Well, guess what they did? The minute they got in trouble, they got the police called to them, and they called him. And he said, I done told them not to call me. They literally got mad at him because he told them don't be going doing that foolishness. And he said the same thing I did. He didn't think it did any good. This guy is King James and all of it. It don't do any good. I'll tell you what I witnessed of it. I seen them getting them blaspheme Jesus. And I didn't like that. I just look at them. They come up to me. One of them turned away. I don't know if he saw the God in me or what. I looked him right in the eye. He turned away. He was one of them with the signs. I looked him right in the eye. I just looked him right in the eye. Didn't say nothing. Didn't do anything. I don't respect that. I'm going to tell you, I don't look at it as winning the loss. I look at it as provoking the loss. And one time, and I don't do this anymore, and I'm going to tell you why. I have learned, because you don't want to speak against God's anointed people. That's anybody that's him. That's anybody he's saved. But at that particular moment, I uttered out. I would never do it again because I've learned a lot about spiritual warfare and all this stuff. You get blowback. You don't want to attack people that are God's people. You can get blowback. But I uttered out, Lord, don't let those blasphemies fall upon those kids. Let it fall upon the ones that provoked them. My daddy said, why are you saying that? I said, because it made me mad. And he said, well, I tell you one thing. He said, I don't care if they got crosses and I don't care if they got Bibles. If I had witnessed them talking to my children like that, I would have took my belt to them. Now, these were older people and these were younger boys. I'd say these boys 19, 20, somewhere around there. And that's what my daddy said. He said, I would have took my belt to them. They've been talking to my children like that. Because they were, and the more they would do it, the more they would just keep doing it. I mean, people could say, yeah, they're tormenting their demons. No, you're at a public place, being a public nuisance is what you really are. You're at a public place, you're not preaching the Word of God. Preaching the Word of God to be handing them a tract, not confronting them, not tormenting them. Handing them a tract, maybe giving them bottled water, sort of like, I'm going to tell you, Rodney now. Now, they preach when God tells them to. That's what you should probably do. Only preach when God, but that one, I don't think God would be telling you to do that.
So he's like a totally important filmmaker.
I mean, when you're just browbeating people and you're just holier than thou, and I'm telling you, but now I do guard my words now, because I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot even by listening to Rodney. He said pastors. He's seen pastors that would take on other pastors and then them suffer in their life. You don't want to speak out against what God's anointed. That's sort of like, you remember when they would accuse Jesus of being the devil? See, I was young back then. I was young. So in my 30s, I'd become a Christian in my mid-20s there. In 18 and 19, born in my 20s. I hadn't learned a lot yet. Now, I will test the spirits. We're told to test the spirits. You're told to test. You can tell when something's of God or not. You can sort of tell. If people's treating you all wicked, that is not of the Lord. Because, I mean, you can pick up his Bible. You can see. There's nothing godly behind it. There's no God in there. And if they claim to be a God, they're a liar. Because you can't treat people like that and claim to be your God. Claim to be a God. Now, you can get out of the will and respond bad, because I do that quite a lot. But you don't treat people like that. Claim to be a God. And there's no blessing coming to you. Those blessings are for those that are doing God's will. And you can kill your blessing even doing what I do, and I probably do a lot. But you ain't gonna be going out there doing all wicked hell to people and think you're gonna be blessed. You ain't gonna be blessed. Well, that's not what the Bible says. I'll bless those that bless you and curse those that curse you. But now God looks at that as a different way. I only made $200, so I made I made $1,000. I'm gonna go ahead and get off. It's late anyway. You ain't gonna do people wicked and expect God to bless you. He's not gonna do that. I mean, there's two sides to the blessing. There's blessings and cursings. You did what you were supposed to do, you were blessed. People says, I'm covered with Jesus. Well, Jesus never told you to go out and do people wrong either. The Bible's full of that, Old and New Testament. This ain't just Old Testament. It's Old and New Testament. I know people don't like hearing it. I'm not trying to be a preacher. You don't go out here doing people wicked and think you're going to be blessed. You ain't going to be blessed. You might survive. And he might allow you to survive another day so he could bless you later and get you to repent. Because that's what he wants more than anything. He wants you to repent. If the Bible is right. If the Bible is accurate, I tend to believe it is. Now, there is whole other sides to the spirituality thing. There's people that question everything. Like I was telling you, this Abraxas character that I was hearing about just tonight. I already heard about that, but I just didn't hear the name of it. I know some of this stuff, some of it I don't know. Like I started my journey into the Dead Sea Scrolls like in 2004. I got a couple of books, Lost Books 1 and 2. Whatever was in that was what I had back then. But I've been really running into the real thing, the bigger things lately. The Pistis of Sophia. Stuff like that. The one I would tell you not to read. And I don't know if I was just sick from my sicknesses. There's a book out there about something about Solomon. I would put a caution on that. And I've heard the book that the really dark secret people are really obsessed with. I got sick into that thing. I got physically sick. I don't know if it was just me, because I do have stomach issues and I do have all kinds of health issues. But I don't know. I didn't even know if I finished it, and I didn't even know if I wanted to go back and finish it if I didn't finish it. It was Solomon, I believe. Is it Solomon? Let me do them searches. I know how to get to it. Let me do this real quick. I want to search up on the, what's that called? Ethiopian Bible. It's a part of it. The Ethiopian. Okay, let's see. All of them are on audiobooks on YouTube. You can find them on it, but they're in text everywhere. Okay, let's see. I'll see if this is right. I'll tell you what book it is. Now I'm Googling on YouTube right now. The Complete Ethiopian Bible. Let me pull up the full playlist, because I can tell you which book it is. Hope it don't start playing. I had Jubilees 1 and 2 back in the day. I had Tobit. I had Judah. Bel and the Dragon. Esdras 1 and 2. Additions to Esther. I had that. Wisdom of Solomon. Now that book right there. That book right there. The son was sick. And he was trying to find out what ailed his son. And he found out it was a demonic oppression. This is from YouTube.
Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 1. Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him. For he will be found of them that tempt him not, and and showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him. For froward thoughts separate from God, and his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise. For unto a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit, and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. For wisdom is a loving spirit, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For God is witness of his reins, and a true beholder of his heart, and a hearer of his tongue. For the Spirit of the Lord filleth the world, and that which containeth all things hath knowledge of the voice. Therefore he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid, neither shall vengeance, when it punisheth, pass by him. For inquisition shall be made into the counsels of the ungodly, and the sound of his words shall come unto the Lord, for manifestation of his wicked deeds. For the ear of jealousy heareth all things, and the noise of murmurings is not hid. Therefore beware of murmuring, which is unprofitable, and refrain your tongue from backbiting. For there is no word so secret that shall go for naught, and the mouth that belieth slayeth the soul. Seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourselves destruction with the works of your hands. For God made not death, neither hath he pleasure in the destruction of the living. For he created all things, that they might have their being. And the generations of the world
I
were
may have the
evil,
wrong book. I don't
and
remember.
there is no
But
poison
there was
of
something of
destruction
Solomon.
in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth.
I find that all a
For
little bit of display
righteousness
just to say.
is immortal, but ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. For when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught, and made a covenant with it, because they are worthy to take part with it. Chapter 2. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright, our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy, neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath of our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart, which, being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance, and our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof. For our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed, so that no man...
I will say one thing about this book, and I'm hearing it right here and there. I know why it's not in the Bible. You know, it's the Bible promises afterlife. That right there is basically saying you're going to vanish. Escalesi's related to that too as well. But it's sort of taken the direction of Escalesi. Should I stay on and play more, or should I just go off? I noticed that. I was paying attention to that beginning.
man cometh again. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient grey hairs of the aged. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean
Go off
contrary
here in
to
just
our
a bit.
doings.
I'm gonna listen to this
He
for just a little bit.
upbraideth us with our
I don't remember. It's
offending
been
the
a few
law,
months.
and objecteth to our infamy the transgressings of our education. He professeth to have the knowledge of God, and he calleth himself the child of the Lord. He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us even to behold, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that God is his Father. Let us see if his words be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. For if the just man be the Son of God, he will help him, and deliver him from the hand of his enemies. Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness, and prove his patience. Let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected. Such things they did imagine, and were deceived, for their own wickedness hath blinded them. As for the mysteries of God, they knew them not, neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. For God created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. Chapter 3. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of God, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise they seemed to die, and their departure is taken for misery, and their going from us to be utter destruction. But they are in peace. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. And having been a little chastised,
He's talking about
they
the
shall
people
be
in the Lord
greatly
now.
rewarded.
This is going
For
back
God
to the Bible.
proved them, and found them worthy for himself. As gold in the furnace hath he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation they shall shine, and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nations, and have dominion over the people.
Ooh, that right there is
And their
good.
Lord
Yeah.
shall reign forever.
He was talking about the
They
wicked
that put their
perishing.
trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord. For whoso despises
So I take back what I was saying a while ago. He was talking about the wicked. This basically confirms what the Bible says about the Old Testament. Indeed, he kind of got some New Testament wisdom in there, like talking about him redeeming us, him dying a death and all that. I mean, I'm hearing some really powerful. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Even these Gnostic Gospels, these hidden Gospels, they're only confirming Jesus to me. This is what I'm talking about. They confirm Jesus. Even that other stuff that has other different tales is confirmed, like this Abraxas. That was one source of that believed that Jesus was sent by him. I mean, all these books do is confirm Jesus to me. I'm getting more closer with Jesus just listening to these alternate texts.
wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain, their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. Their wives are foolish, and their children wicked. Their offspring is cursed. Wherefore, blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which hath not known the sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls.
Unfortunately, though, a lot of people that call themselves Christians live just like the heathen that he's talking about. Kind of makes you wonder if they're really Christians. That's between them and the Lord. Me, I just give it back to them. My intentions are basically good for everybody, goodwill towards everybody. But now I can give it back to you. A lot of people are wicked, and a lot of them call themselves Christians are just as wicked. They're like the people he's describing here. The wicked. Their children are wicked. They'll do all kinds of wicked things to you, say all kinds of wicked things about you, lie about you, slander you, etc.
And blessed is the eunuch, which with his hands hath wrought no iniquity, nor imagined wicked things against God. For unto him shall be given the special gift of faith, and an inheritance in the temple of the Lord, more acceptable to his mind. For glorious is the fruit of good labors, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away. As for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. For though they live long, yet shall they be nothing regarded, and their last age shall be without honor. Or, if they die quickly, they have no hope, neither comfort in the day of trial. For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation. Chapter 4. Better it is to have no children and to have virtue, for the memorial thereof is immortal, because it is known with God and with men. When it is present, men take example at it, and when it is gone, they desire it. It weareth a crown, and triumpheth for ever, having gotten the victory, striving for undefiled rewards. But the multiplying brood of the ungodly shall not thrive, nor take deep rooting from bastard slips, nor lay any fast foundation. For though they
I'm going to leave off. If you want to watch any of these videos, they're up here. There's lots of different sources of this too. It's all over the internet as well. You can find the books, actual books, and actually read them yourself. I just like listening to audio books because it's hard for me to read in my eyesight. And I would caution you if you're weak in faith, because some of this stuff can break your faith. Right now, at the stage of life that I'm at, all these extra texts has done nothing but confirm Jesus to me. I already believe in him, but they're really confirming him to me. Now, I might get confused about what his role is. I'm trying not to do that either. I'm going to try to just recognize him as the Savior Christ. Because that's what I grew up believing, and the Bible warns you to stay away from fairy tales. So I'm going to try to just keep, because I done got off once before by reading some junk I shouldn't have read. I just search on the Ethiopian Bible. I'm going to try to get me, they're actually in print. I'm going to try to get me one. Real printed. I've seen them. I'm going to try to get one. I want a real Ethiopian Bible. I already have some of those lost books of the Bible. I had volume 1 and volume 2, which had some of those in it. Those ones I was naming you. Jubilees, I had both of them. I had Toby or whatever it was, or Judith. Bell and the Dragon, Edreus. I had those. Not sure about the Wisdom of Solomon. Prayer Manasseh, I had that one. There's a second book of Enoch. I'm not really familiar with the second book, but what I did listen to blew me away. I'm more familiar with the regular Enoch. I'm not familiar with this Enoch.
Work today is broken. We're all working in too many disconnected apps, and it's killing team productivity.
The Second Book of Enoch, read by Christopher Glenn.
I'll tell you, I'm going to try to get me
What?
a Ethiopian Bible.
There was a wise man, a great artificer, and the Lord conceived love for him, and received him that he should behold the uppermost dwellings, and be an eyewitness to the wise and great and inconceivable and immutable realm of God Almighty, of the very wonderful and glorious and bright and many-eyed station of the Lord's servants, and of the inaccessible throne of the Lord, and of the degrees and manifestations of the incorporeal hosts, and of the ineffable ministration of the multitude of the elements, and of the various apparitions and inexpressible singing of the host of cherubim and of the boundless light.
Said I wouldn't get political, and I'm going to be careful with how I say this right now. So I'm not supposed to be getting political. Right here. If I was on Rumble, I wouldn't think that. I'm going to say this. If you look in the Bible, in the Old Testament, at the blessings and the cursings that God laid out, there's people that has intentionally, and I mean it, intentionally brought cursing upon this country. And it's intentional. I mean, you can plainly tell it. They did everything God told them not to do. And we're seeing everything in those curses. That's what I mean by blessings and curses, and they still awaken. People says it don't work today. It's all Old Testament. Don't work today. No, it's still in effect. Because you can actually see one of the things that's been overrun by people that's not your land. That's one of the big ones. That's one of the big ones. There's a blessing where he goes with you with the city and the country and all that. But then there's a cursing side to that. Rodney covered those blessings and cursings, by the way. I heard him cover it one night in a sermon. Thought it was a good show. I don't remember what night he done it. He's done 1,000-something nights on that stand. And sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. He covered those things. He's done those spiritual conferences too, you know. So he might have covered it during one of those. There's some people that have people like, well, I better not name him. Starts with an S. Let's call him the S. Let's use a code word for him, Zarro. Zarro. And you can put the S on there and you can figure out what I'm talking about. This guy has intentionally cursed the United States. These people are intentionally cursing Britain and the United States of America with all this wickedness. Doing these rituals. That's what the satanic Hollywood rituals are. I better shut up on YouTube. That's what all that's about. Bringing about the cursing on the nation. Because God has some lessons. He's got some things that he will bless. That's individual too, by the way. You can bring cursings and blessings into your life. People mocks me and when I start quoting that, thou bless those that bless you and curse those that curse you. But now that's true. That's basically saying you be blessing to God's people, he'll bless you. But if you do cursings to him, you're going to curse yourself. You're bringing cursing upon yourself. You're bringing cursing upon yourself. All those principles are still in play. The only difference in y'all know me, I take the once saved, always saved to I believe to a certain extent that because he says if you believe on him, you're not going to perish. So you have to sort of believe that, yeah, there is some truth to that. But it also warns you about falling away. So you got to take that into consideration too. That yes, you probably can get away from him. And the best thing to do is draw nigh to him and stick with him. And I know another thing, he does have to do the changing. You're not going to change yourself, and even if you did, it wouldn't be good because it was God. It wasn't you. It wasn't God. It was you. You don't want to be out here doing wicked things to people. I think that's another thing that led people wrong and straight. They get out here and do all kinds of wickedness because they think I'm saved and I'm always saved and it don't matter. Well, I'll tell you about the one thing about that. That's something that Mr. Pastor Peacock preaches. You're not free from your earthly consequences. Like one could say, I'm blessed. Here, I'm going to use this as an example. And I'm going to close. Because I could talk all day if I can. I got to pitch a clip. But here's a prime example of I'm blessed. You get out here, you treating people like crap. You're a married man. You got you several women on the side. I'm blessed. I'm forgiven. He'll forgive me. But guess what? Wifey finds out about the other ladies. She has you in divorce court. But God, I'm blessed. But you're not free of your consequences. You still did the wrong, and you will pay the penalty here on earth. Now, he may spare you of some things. Like, say, you're a Christian, or you became a Christian in prison, and you was a bad, wicked person. You was like Saul of Tarsus, and you were a horrible, horrible human being. And you got saved, and God decided, you are not to hurt this man. And they got him for death penalty. And God decrees from heaven. This would be the exception. This ain't the rule. But he decrees from heaven. They're not killing you. So he influences people to influence people to turn him loose. And then he becomes a part of society again. And he gets turned loose. Or he gets spared of even the death penalty. And he's allowed to live the rest of his days in prison. Now that will be an example of divine intervention. But he still paid the price. He still lost years in jail. He still got charged with murder. He still did his time. But God decided to spare him, and God gave him a blessing. And he spared him. Then again, God might just say, it's still good he repented. He was in jail and he repented. God decides to let the sentence be carried out. You know, that's what George Bush ran with. You remember the lady that they made such a big fuss about? And you know what? I'm going to say this, and I said, even though I'm always sparing, I said, well, how do we really know she turned around? She did something with an axe or something. It was a horrible thing, and she wanted off. She was trying to get clemency, and Bush said, well, Bush made the statement, well, she's with God, she's going to be with God now. A lot of people tore him apart about that. I'm talking about GW. I think he was governor at the time. What was that lady's name? They were all over the news with her. And she done a horrible crime, and then she repented, and then she tried to use that to get out of jail. You see, that's another thing I'm talking about. She basically did, if she was a born-again Christian at that time, she went to her grave because of the actions that she did. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. That's not necessarily anti-biblical. You got a bunch of schmucks out here today. Oh, I don't like the death penalty. Get rid of the death penalty. You want to know who declared the death penalty? You can go back to Genesis. I believe Exodus may cover some of it too. Especially the laws. When it got to the rules, the one who established the death penalty, and I'm going to tell y'all something. He didn't just declare that for the human to shed of innocent blood. This is the seriousness of innocent bloodshed. The seriousness of innocent blood. I'm talking about innocent bloodshed. Murder. Innocent bloodshed. Like Cain, for instance. You want to know who declared the death penalty? It was G-O-D. Yahweh, if you want to say his name. G-O-D was the thing they put there because I was afraid to speak his name. I'll tell you, I got into it with teachers at school about that. I would literally get into exchanges. Why can't I know his name? Because you can't know his name. They would literally tell me. Well, years later, I did research. Bought books. when YouTube came around, started watching YouTube videos. But even before then, I was studying up books. I found out his name was Yahweh. My mom even had this section of books. I went through them dang things. His name was Yahweh in those books. She had these big encyclopedias on the Bible. 3 of them. There's 3 of them. There's 3 editions of them. They were big old things. Yahweh was written in that thing. I wanted to know his name because some teacher started that up. She was teaching on that. That's what she was teaching on. And I said something to her. I said, well, if I believe in him and I want to know who he is, and if he's my father, I want to know who he is. She said, well, you can't know his name. That's what she was teaching on. She was teaching on how they replaced his name with God. That's what she was teaching on. So one of those times where they'd do that. They'd have their day of Islam, day of Christianity, you name it. I hated the other days, by the way. I felt like there's no other guides before me. So even though I didn't count myself a Christian, I count myself a wanting to be one. I just kept telling him to prove himself to me. He did prove himself to me. Many levels. And now he's proving himself even more with these texts, because the more I'm reading them, the more I'm getting closer to Jesus. You're not spared of your earthly consequence. A lot of people forget that. They think they can go in their little box and they can pray. But now, if you do get spared about it, that is the exception and not the rule. And you better be counting that is a blessing. Don't just be counting on that, though. Don't be out there doing people wrong. Because the Bible frowns on both old and new. I mean, I don't see where. I mean, some of these new age Christians. I'm talking about these late coming Christians. These ones of the past 100, 200 years. I think it's just 100 something. Because even 200 years, I think they took God more serious than they do now. I know my grandma. She's one of those that feared him. She's feared that he'd strike you with lightning. She's one of those. I think my other grandmother was like that too, because my mama says she was too scared to pick up a Bible. So that meant that she was pretty bad. I didn't know her. I know she died before I was born. Her Bible was wore out. She read her Bible. I touched her wore out Bible. I know what her wore out Bible looked like. Finally, she started reading it. I kept telling her, I said, Mommy, you shouldn't be afraid to read the Bible. She believes in God. She prays to him. She gets her prayers answered. She's just scared to read his word. She's finally reading it. I never was afraid. Indeed, I was drawn to it because I wanted to believe. I just didn't want to believe in him because somebody told me it existed. I wanted to believe in him because I really believed in him, not because I was grown up to believe that way or told that. Some of my believing included testing. I know they tell you not to test the Lord. Instead of getting mad at me, it just drew him to me. He didn't get mad at me. I don't know if he got mad, but he didn't get too mad because he always, indeed, if I get away from him, he comes and grabs me, pulls me back. He says, son, what you doing? So like he does in Adam in the Garden of Eden. He comes at me. I don't want him to stop. I should really take that into consideration. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. Not the roots, deception. There's plenty of people he just let go. It's not the roots, deception. But he loves humanity. That means he loves you too. And what he'll do for one, he'll do for you. What he'll do for somebody else, he'll do that for you. I don't like them religious bullies. That's what got this conversation started. I started about the religious bullies. I'm careful with how I deal with the religious bully now, because if they really are of God, I don't want to be calling them out. Dude, I pray about it. You just don't know how much I pray about it. When I run into these people and I question them, you know what I'm doing? I say, Lord, if I'm wrong about this person, show me. And a lot of times, he shows me. Because if there's any good in them, he lets me see the good. But a lot of times when I pray that particular prayer, 9 times out of 10, it could be a demonic work. I don't know. It could be a demon. But 9 times out of 10, they not only show me they're not what I think they are, sometimes they show me they're worse than I think they are. But I do that every time. Every time I run into these people, I'm that way, y'all. I'll think, Lord, I'll pray to him. Lord, please show me this person as bad as I'm thinking they are. Please show me. Please. I don't want to think this person's as bad as I'm thinking they are. I do this every time. Every time I run into bad people, or who I think is bad, I do this to the Lord. I plead with him. I sort of like Abraham, you know. He's up there and he's pleading for Sodom and Gomorrah. I say, please, Lord, don't let me think this person's this bad. Show me that there's some goodness. And usually they get wickeder. They get worse. I've had a few exceptions. I do have a big forgiveness problem. If you cross me too much, it's hard for me to let go and forgive. And that's one I'm working with. You know what I'm doing lately? I just say, take it, Lord. When I get to that point, I just say, take it. Take it. Move it on. Get it out of my life. Get that out. Get that blood off my soul. And unforgiveness. I'm telling you the truth there. I don't like thinking people are bad. Because we're told not to judge. We're told not to judge. I'm going to close. I didn't even mean to go into that. That was way off base. It wasn't even planned. Sometimes that's worse than politics. I really hate religion. You want to talk about being really hated? Start talking about God. Start talking about Jesus. Especially Jesus. Oh, they really hate the name of Jesus. As people get so offended by that name, and he's one of the most, from what I can tell about him, he was better than what they preach God was. Because, you know, if you look at the Old Testament is kind of filled with do what he says or boom. And here comes Jesus, the guy on the cross beside him. Saturday, well, yesterday was Saturday, the Sabbath, the real Sabbath. Today's Sunday. Guess we're getting a Sunday sermon. The guy on the cross was, we did horrible things. He did nothing. Remember me, Lord, when you get into your kingdom. And Jesus said, by the end of the day, you will be in paradise. Or at the end of the night, by the night, you'll be paradise. That's the Jesus. Here, this guy, he was guilty of sin. He didn't even get to repent. All he told was scold the other for mocking him. That's Jesus. Even in those other Gnostic Gospels he's loving. I'm noticing that. It's just a different thing. He's liberating you instead of bringing you into the kingdom of heaven. In those other Gospels. But he's still loving. It's this other entity that's mean. Probably just Satan. It probably is just Satan. They say it's our guide, but it's probably just Satan. It's all Satan. Tree of knowledge, all of Satan. There might be entities worse than Satan, though. I'm just going to say that. Because really, Satan, the only thing he was guilty of, he's full of himself. There's entities that are way wickeder than him. That book of Solomon that I'm thinking about, that may not be the one. There's several Solomon books. I'm gonna go look and make sure. I'll listen to some more of it and make sure. There's a part where he gets into it and he's conjuring up some things. Some of them things that he was conjuring were wickeder than Satan. There's entities. One of them was so wicked he was beheaded. An angel beheaded him. He would mainly strike blindness on his victims, from what I can remember. An angel literally beheaded this entity, and he can't see in eternity anymore because he's headless. There's some really wicked into principalities of the air out there. Satan was just the sparker of it. He's the father of it. I'm gonna close. Like I said, I didn't mean to get into that. It's supposed to be gaming. Maybe I was meant to say it. Maybe somebody needed to hear it. Have a good day. It's Sunday. Praise Jesus. I'll probably be watching right here in a little while. I think they were having one of their conferences and I didn't watch none of it. I think it started, didn't it, this weekend? Anyways. Of course, you can always go back